Alpha.
Movies are everywhere these days, appealing to and engaging with a broad spectrum of viewers. What are the essential elements for a truly engaging movie? One element that is indispensable for the creation of effective movie content is an overall colour and contrast scheme that supports the creator's vision. The secret to success in that area is a workflow that makes use of Sony's S-Log3 gamma curve and colour grading. In part 1, we'll take a look at how S-Log3 can enhance the appeal of your movies. Let's begin by comparing the same scene captured using two different workflows, one that is fairly average and one that can deliver high-quality results. The first example was created in the normal non-professional way. Its latitude is limited, resulting in blown highlights and blocked shadows. Now, if we look at the same scene captured through a more advanced workflow, we can see that the highlights and shadows are rendered with more natural gradations for a more refined cinematic look. We can go even further and create this type of imagery. The main difference between these approaches is that while the average-looking example came straight from the camera without any further processing, the higher quality version was created by S-Log3 shooting and grading in post-production. The S-Log3 gamma curve provided in Sony cameras is specifically designed for grading, making it possible to achieve a wide latitude and color gamut while creating the desired overall look. That's why so many creators shoot with S-Log3. Now that we know what S-Log3 is for, let's try setting up a camera and actually recording with it. When shooting movies, we normally keep the shutter speed and aperture fixed to maintain a consistent cinematic look, while using ND filters and ISO sensitivity to adjust exposure. If ISO is set to auto, the camera can automatically maintain correct exposure as lighting conditions change. Next, let's set up the camera to shoot in S-Log3. In the case of the FX30, go to the log shooting setting. Choosing the flexible ISO Cine EI Quick or Cine EI log shooting setting automatically sets the camera to record using S-Log3. We'll start by choosing the flexible ISO setting because it is a good choice for a wide variety of shooting situations. S-Log3 images appear flat with low contrast before grading. This allows the widest possible latitude to be captured during recording so that the desired exposure, contrast and color can be achieved through grading. Grading can be done manually, but lookup table or LUT files can be used to easily convert the low contrast log image to a variety of viewable forms. On many cameras, the user must monitor the low contrast log image while shooting, making it difficult to set appropriate exposure and judge how the final colors will look. The FX30, FX3 and other cinema line cameras allow LUTs to be applied to the monitor image, providing a useful preview of how the exposure and color will look after grading. The preset S709 LUT provides a cinematic monitor look, so we'll use it for this example. In addition to the presets, a custom LUT can be imported into the camera so you can monitor with just about any look you like. When a log shooting setting and LUT have been selected and ISO has been set up to maintain optimum exposure, we can start recording. When the footage has been recorded, it can be imported into a computer where grading will be applied to produce the desired final look. Video editing or grading software is required to process footage recorded with the S-Log3 gamma curve. Most current editing software supports S-Log3. Sony's free Catalyst Browse software provides browse, playback and basic grading capability. We'll use Catalyst Browse to show how a clip can be easily graded. Specify the folder containing the movie clips you want to grade. Icons on each thumbnail indicate that a clip contains LUT metadata. Then click the Adjust Color button. LUT metadata is embedded in clips, so it will automatically be applied to the clip in compatible software like Catalyst Browse. This makes the clip look about the same as it did on the monitor during recording, providing a seamless, efficient workflow. This example was recorded while monitoring with the S-709 LUT, but you can import custom LUTs into Catalyst Browse as needed to create the desired look. If your artistic vision requires even finer control, you can grade S-Log3 footage manually using the color wheels, without using any LUTs at all. That's all there is to it. Shoot with the S-Log3 gamma curve and monitor with a LUT that will be automatically applied in the editing software, then adjust as necessary to create the final high-quality image. The flexible ISO workflow we have just seen is an efficient way to produce high-quality movies in a wide range of situations, which is why it is used by a large number of creators. It's quick, easy, and you should check it out. In Part 2, we'll examine a workflow that uses the Cine EI mode for even finer control and higher quality. EI, or exposure index, is a concept that comes directly from the cinema industry. All of Sony's cinema line cameras are compatible with EI-based workflows, allowing the same workflow to be maintained regardless of the camera used. As we learned in Part 1, the log shooting mode, which is used to record with the S-Log3 gamma curve, provides flexible ISO, Cine EI Quick and Cine EI settings. When we recorded with the flexible ISO setting, it was possible to shoot continuously under changing lighting conditions because proper exposure could be maintained by adjusting the ISO sensitivity. The Cine EI setting, on the other hand, is more suited to a studio workflow where the lighting is adjusted to achieve optimum exposure for each cut. The main difference between the flexible ISO and Cine EI settings is that in a Cine EI workflow, the ISO sensitivity remains fixed. This allows the highest possible image quality to be captured for use in high-end production. There are two main reasons for the extremely high quality attainable in a Cine EI workflow. The first is that the camera can be set at its base ISO, which delivers the highest image quality the camera's image sensor can provide with the maximum latitude and minimum noise. The second is the exposure index that allows brightness to be adjusted in post-production. By deliberately shooting with the intent of adjusting exposure index in post-production, it is possible to achieve ideally balanced gradations between highlights and shadows. The result can be something like what you're seeing here, with smooth shadow gradations and low noise in clear, professional-looking images. Let's try the Cine EI workflow. At first, let's check record settings. We could select either the Cine EI Quick or Cine EI log shooting setting, but for this example we'll use Cine EI. Next, we need to set the base ISO. The FX30 actually has two base ISO settings: ISO 800 for bright lighting and ISO 2500 for low light. Both settings deliver about the same noise level, providing adaptability for a variety of environments. At this point, we need to take a look at some techniques that are unique to the Cine EI workflow. This is the final image. It was shot under relatively low light and graded in post-production using EI. Our goal is to capture smooth shadow gradations with the lowest possible noise. So we set up our lighting or ND filters to overexpose the scene by about 2 stops. This makes our monitor image much too bright. To compensate, we use the camera's EI adjustment to reduce monitor brightness by about the same amount, so we can monitor the image at about the brightness it will be at after grading. In order to apply EI adjustment to the monitor image, the LUT must be turned on. Then we can lower the EI by 2 stops. It is important to remember that the EI we set here only applies to the monitor image and not to the recorded data. The actual recorded data is still overexposed by 2 stops. If you turn off the display LUT, the EI adjustment will also be turned off and the monitor image will be too bright once again. Now we'll use the Catalyst Browse software to perform a basic grading like we did in part 1. Both LUT and EI data are embedded in footage recorded with the FX30. So when that footage is imported into Catalyst Browse or other compatible editing software, the LUT and EI settings used during recording are automatically applied. The 2-stop reduction in EI we indicated while shooting is automatically applied in the software, so the image appears properly exposed. The footage was initially overexposed by 2 stops in order to achieve smooth shadow gradations. That lets us reduce brightness by 2 stops during grading to reduce noise, making it easy to deliver high-quality final output. Fine manual adjustments can also be made as necessary. In that case, turn the LUT and EI settings off to go back to the footage as it was originally shot, then use the lift, gain and gamma wheels as well as the saturation control to grade the contrast and colour as required. The benefits of shooting with EI apply here too. Now let's go back and take a closer look at the results we achieved using Cine EI. Both scenes were recorded at ISO 2500, but the right Cine EI image was overexposed by 2 stops, and then the brightness was reduced by 2 stops in post-production. If we look closely at the shadow areas, we can see that the shadow gradations in the Cine EI footage are smoother and the noise is generally lower. The Cine EI workflow makes it possible to take full advantage of the camera's performance potential by shooting with S-Log3 and then using EI during post-production to deliver final images of very high quality. Creators can use S-Log3 to produce beautiful, appealing images. Sony provides both flexible ISO and Cine EI workflows so you can achieve the highest possible quality. We hope you'll take advantage of these advanced features to enhance the quality and appeal of your own productions.
Alpha.
Movies are everywhere these days, appealing to and engaging with a broad spectrum of viewers. What are the essential elements for a truly engaging movie? One element that is indispensable for the creation